first welcome you on behalf of all of the EYL family. This is a conversation centered on student debt. We started with reading a book from Ray Dalio, and we're going to kind of refer to it throughout the year. But we also but kind of hit and moved the conversation for student debt is President Biden and his administration decided to do a loan relief program, and it really sparked a lot of interest and a lot of conversation. And so we wanted to acknowledge the fact that people were having all types of feelings about it, which led me and other people to start reading, and people reaching out to talk about this. And so we thought it'd be appropriate to cover a documentary. This is a book and movie club, and so movies and documentaries kind of are what we do. So we are operating from a place of absorbing information, not only from press clippings, but also this documentary called Borrowed Future, as well as the Ray Dalio book. And so what we're going to do after I ask anyone if they have any questions, we're going to go to that. We're going to go to a clipping, about a 10-minute video, actually a 10-minute audio version of a clip from the documentary that I found very profound. And I think it's important that we listen to it because it highlights kind of what we want to talk about today. But before I do that, I want to open up the floor for any questions that anyone might have. It could be related to just being here for your first time, or questions about what's coming next, or questions about what you've been experiencing as it relates to student loan, or an opinion or perspective you'd like to share.
I would like to know if anyone has heard that the states are thinking about taxing the people who got to take advantage of the student loan debt relief.
I've heard some rumbling, but I wasn't sure if it was coming from a good source. So I can't source what information I heard. So I'm not gonna actually put too much. I have to do some research on that. But because the conversation started with like the person was upset that people were finding relief or getting relief, and I'm like, why would you be upset for somebody else being able to take advantage of a program? Like, that's you don't know their situation or circumstance. So I'm not sure if that was coming from like an envy or a hate thing, but I did hear some rumbling, but I'm not sure if it was really untrue honesty. I'm not sure if it was really merited in like fact-based, or more so in the emotional reaction. Anyone else? I'll open that up to anyone. Anyone heard anything about the recipients of Pell Grants or student loan relief being taxed in their in their upcoming tax year? If you haven't, don't worry, no pressure to anyone. What I'll do is I am going to have a conversation, and I'll reach out to Miss Business, Miss and I'm going to ask her that's actually something I actually have scheduled to ask her. I did reach out to her.
Yeah, I heard it from Carter Cofield. He's a CPA.
Okay.
I think, yeah, he is known on EYL, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a great question. If I don't have the answer, I'm gonna definitely go find the answer. So I will definitely get back to you on that. Yeah, that's dope.
Thanks.
And I neglected to mention that if you this is an open forum too. So if you want to share, you can just put your hand up and unmute yourself, or you could just, if there's a lot of hands up, just wait till we kind of acknowledge you so that you can share, because I think that also gives us a chance to have some order and structure as we go get into conversation. So what I am going to do, that was a great question. Anyone else have any questions that they would like to ask before I kind of get into what I want to get into? All right, cool. Well, that's I'll take that as a no. But I just out of curiosity, what has been the feedback from people or people or what type of feedback have you witnessed? It could be personally received or from people as it relates to student loan relief. I know people I've talked to, everyone's had a reaction, whether positive or negative, but it's caused a reaction. I'm interested to know what type of reaction maybe you've experienced as I pull up the clips for today.
I was just waiting to see if somebody was going to say something, but from my own experience, I'm somewhat like in limbo because I went to a technical college and that technical college no longer exists. So they were a private institution, and they've been going back and forth with like Sally Mae, like the Department of Education and stuff like that. And essentially they lost the suit, so they had to dissolve. So people in my situation are like, well, are we is the loan forgiveness going to happen? Does it apply? Is it something that like, I mean, I think of course, like our degrees and stuff still hold merit. But considering that that institution no longer exists, it's like, you know, are those loans, you know, even still like worth anything because we wouldn't actually be paying it back to the institution.
Yeah, man, that's I believe there's an episode that we are going to that's listed on our website too. I appreciate you sharing that, brother. There's a website, actually a web link from the open enrollment session, where I believe the sister, if you listen to it, I think my brother is Troy. I'm Greg. I'm sorry, I didn't say my name. I'm Greg Millings. Troy's my brother. But he had talked about working in a place of public education that changed its name several times and is no longer in existence. And I think there's a website, and I'll look it up and we'll put it out there to kind of look at what to do in those circumstances. Yeah, I mean, that's a peculiar place to be in, especially when you've gone to a technical school and, you know, you've got some money that's out there. And I believe what the sister was talking about, who was presenting, the professional who they had on, was saying like, listen, there's some money there to be to be awarded back to you because of, I guess, something that would almost be deemed as like a predatory practice. They neglected to inform all students of some of the things that are related to their policies, and there is a loophole where I think people are getting money back. So I want to stress this. I get a call every single day, and what the sister said on that episode was that if you're going to do something, you better do it before October is over. I think October is going to be a deadline and a marker, which we're going to see that if after October things are going to be kind of shut down. So whatever version of forgiveness this is called, we will not see it again, I'm assuming. So, but I appreciate you, Fabian. I appreciate you sharing that. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is I'm going to share. Oh, thank you, Mercedes. Shout out to you, Mercedes. You've been rocking for a long time. Appreciate you. What I can do is I can share screen. Or Fabian, do you want to share screen from the audio? I think I could do that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can share. I would just need to be made a host. But I mean, I can certainly do it.
Yeah, I got you. I got you on as a co-host. I apologize.
No problem. Yes.
All is for college people who are just now graduating.
Pay off student loans.
Is that the American dream? The number one mistake I see with your generation is you take a kid's approach to an adult decision.
It's funny talking with my mom and getting her story of, you know, I went to college for $4,000 and thinking to myself, that's cool. It's not that cheap now. Growing up, we were more in the lower middle class, a single mom who has 2 boys. You could tell that we didn't have an endless supply of money for college. I ended up opting to go the business route. I saw what the financial situation was like and realized if I could create a business and grow that and then be able to give back, how much more of a difference would that make if I could fund 20 of me to go to college. U of M in Minnesota was my big choice. It's a very large, substantial campus, and you get this sense of pride, you know, walking into that situation, knowing that this is where I could be cutting my teeth for going out into the real world. So one day, go to the mailbox, I got in. That's what I wanted. I was totally set on going there. I'd done everything I needed to up until that point. Basically, I could coast out my senior year, right? I made it to the next step. That's the funny part. They don't send the tuition with the acceptance letter. That letter also had shock. You open it up, you look at it, and $22,000 a year. At that time, I'm driving a car I paid $600 for. I was totally ready just to dive deep into debt because that's what the journey looks like, right? That's what everyone expects it to be, and I was gonna be one of them.